Yo, what's going on, everybody? Today we're gonna make some tires. Some fucking tires! Yeah, I see a lot of videos online where people make tires, and there's some decent ones out there, but there's also a lot where it's kind of like, meh, and also they're doing it in a way where they're starting with a cylinder first, and sort of giving themselves a lot of quads, selecting a pattern of quads, and then extruding all of them as a group. Then selecting another set of quads, extruding those in a different pattern, excuse me, and kind of doing it that way. The problem doing it that way, in my opinion, is you kind of get these checkerboard looking tires. And I don't want a checkerboard looking tire. I want a sweet tire. So this is an example kind of the approach and maybe like a tire we're going to make today. This is a piece I made. I'll just show you some shots of the piece as well as the tires. So the original concept, original model I saw by an artist, I'll put his name in the about section for the video. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But this is something we're going to do today, and I don't have anything pre-planned. I don't like videos that are pre-planned, so when I screw up and fuck up, we're going to fuck up together as a team. Because as long as I've been doing this, it doesn't matter. I still will get to a point where I'm struggling with a piece, or I'm not sure how to move forward next, and I like keeping those inside the videos because I like younger artists who aren't professionals or who are aspiring professionals or new in the industries that they're working in to see that these things don't always go perfectly smooth. Yes, I know how to make tires. I know the approach we're going to use to make this tire, but this will be the first time that we make this particular tire, and that will come with its own struggles. So the pattern I used for the one inside my viewport is mostly this one, except for I flipped it so that it would be same left and right. And that was just a personal choice. So we're not going to do that again. We're going to do this one today, the one on the right. I think this is a nice one. It's symmetrical left and right. And the trick with doing tires is, in my opinion, finding a tread first. And then all we're going to do really after that is find the pattern. So the pattern in this case is, it seems like it might be tricky because it goes down, up in a wave, but we need to make this, this, and then just flip it. That's really all we need to do. So we need to make these three shapes and then half of this shape. Then after that, we need to clone it north and south in a straight line, and then we'll curve it after that to a tire. And then I'll show you some tricks on how to get this nice like curve along the side of the tire, because the tires aren't giant rectangles, of course. And we will do that together. Let's see. Let's start with opening our Hypershade. Maya's fucking huge Hypershade. I have like a 32-inch monitor, or whatever this thing is, cinema display. It's like 80% of my screen is the fucking Hypershade. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm going to create a Lambert. And I'm going to take my... Oh, well, before we do that, let's do this. Let's start with a plane. I'm going to make a square plane. So I'll show you a little thing too. Small pro tip, I guess, if you haven't done this before. So I know this texture is 1080 by 1080. Pixels. So I don't need to make something that's 1080 by 1080. I just need it to be square. So if I say 50 by 50, that's fine. I just need a square plane, which we now have. Here's my Lambert. Now what I want to do is drag and drop this in here. And you don't have to do it this way. You can go through the attribute editor to do this. I just want it to go color out into my Lambert, into the color. Now we're going to drag and drop this texture on here. And it looks like the UVs are fucked up. So we're going to open our UV editor. And the reason they're fucked up is because the UVs are fucked up. So we're going to move this bad boy and snap it on X. Ta-da! Fixed. Cool. Now I always start with more image than I need, and then something I usually do is I'll go to my toolkit and I'll sort of I'm going to hold shift and just cut a straight line here and a straight line here. Let me turn my grid off so it doesn't seem so bananas. And I don't actually need all of this. I just need some of it. So I'm going to do like this just to get rid of some of these. So now I can delete these polys and these polys and these polys and these polys. I'm going to zoom in again and see if I can cut this a little closer again. Again, I'm just holding shift, which gives me a snap for my cut tool. I'm going to go here and then maybe like here. This is just so I'm not taking up screen space on shit I don't need. I don't need that shit. Okay, I'm going to center my pivot. Bring this to here. It's not actually quite centered. I want it to be symmetrical. So we're going to do like this. Not going to snap it. Oh, you suck. Let's go like this. Booyah. All right, so that's basically my center. So now what we want to do is we need to build 1, 2, 3, and then this half. So we're going to do that first, and then after that we'll figure out how to align things so we can have a nice set of instance treads. And then we'll basically be done. Let me click this one more time just because it's annoying me. Gadoosh. All right. So I'm going to move this just slightly below. Let me freeze my transforms really quick. I'm going to move this just slightly below 0, just for fun. And there's a few ways you can do this. You can start with a poly. These are very simple shapes. So you can start with a poly, or you can use like an append tool. And I think, let's do, actually I use append so little in my, so let's go create polygon tool. And let's go click, 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 click here, click here, click here. It doesn't have to be perfect for now. I just want these planes created. I'm going to press G to access that tool again. Enter. I'm ignoring this. I want here, here. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Booyah. And then this one, I only want half. So I'm going to go click, click, click. Yes. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a group layer. There's one on the far right. If you have something selected, when you press this, it'll automatically go into the group, which is nice. So now, as you can see, I have my nice treads already built. Not too bad. And we're going to call this I always put like layer or shader or something when I create stuff, because you can't have a group named tread and you can't have a shader named tread and an object named tread. I won't allow that, even though they're totally different things. So I tend to put these like, not prefix, what is it? Suffix at the end of my groups. So we got this now. Kind of we're done. The modeling portion, mostly done. I'm going to snap that. These don't have to be lined up in any way. And in fact, it might even be better if they're not, because things in the real world aren't always perfectly straight. But just for the sake of what we're doing today, we're going to do like this. Turn off my grid. There's a couple little tricks you can do going forward. So I want to have each one of these have a loop around it. So I'm going to select a loop and then say extrude. There's a few options with extrude. You can just grab an edge and do like this. But now Maya still, after being in production for 20 years, still doesn't know how to do thickness or basic bevels and a lot of things. So you get this diggity dog shit where it goes, oh, really wide here, more narrow here, wide again, super narrow, kind of big, smaller. So then you might try thickness, oops, sorry, not thickness, but offset. Offset works a little bit better, but as you can see, it's still diggity dog shit, because clearly this edge is shorter than this edge. Don't message me and say that there's some setting in Maya that will fix this. There is not. I have changed every setting in Maya over the course of my life. Well, I won't go into that, but I've also spoken with developers over at Autodesk about that. So let's do that again. We're going to say extrude edge. Offset, I think, gets us a little better than just pulling it out on the green axis. So we're going to do like this. And now we're going to do both. We're going to do this on both. So I'm going to hit G again, and I'm going to do offset. And a little pro tip also, if you hold Control when you drag, you get more sensitivity, as opposed to like where it's like exploding with nuclear power in all directions. So I'm going to hold Control and do like this. Now the reason I'm giving this a loop around is for a couple of reasons. One, it looks nice. Two, because if I ever need to smooth this model, it will smooth correctly. I'm giving these shapes a foundation for them to sit on when I connect them all together. So hold Shift, extrude, offset, and we'll do one more. This one's going to be slightly different because remember this is only half, so I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to change this in a wee bit. So actually, you know what I should have done? See, I already kind of fucked up. Not really. I wouldn't say it's a fuck up, but let's do like this. Okay, that's good enough. So I was going to say we could have built this middle shape, but it kind of doesn't matter. We can build half of it and then flip. So now the next thing I want to do, by the way, I kind of typically work in like an expert mode by hitting Control Spacebar, and then I just use my modeling toolbar, or I just use shortcuts and stuff. Let me go here, grab our multi-cut. Now I want to pre-plan this so that I have quads to the best of our abilities. I'm not too afraid of triangles. I'm not phobic of triangles like a lot of people. I mean, there's a sort of this thing that teachers always sort of drill into people's head, like triangles are bad, triangles can be bad, but remember every quad is also a triangle. That's just two triangles. So if it's curving or moving or going to be animating, obviously, then this is something to look out for. But in cases where you have an object that's going to be largely flat or not bending or not animating, triangles, it's not the end of the world. And sometimes it's more efficient actually to put a triangle in. So I'll go clean some of these up in a second, but let's go here. This one, obviously I don't like, there's a triangle here, so I would like to do something else. So what can we do? I'm going to get rid of all of this, delete edge. I definitely know I want this. And I know I probably want this. And then just for giggles, I'm going to put one here. Actually, let me not do that yet. So one of the things I'm sort of pre-planning in my head is, remember, this needs to connect to this, and then these need to connect to this, and then this. So I'm going to be adding spans to these in a little bit. For now, I'm going to grab all of these, and I'm going to combine them. So now we have one single object, and let me put my pivot to the center. And now that I can see my exact center grid, I'm going to just make sure these are on the center by snapping them like this. So now you can see we have a tire penetrator. I have a hotkey for my instance. So if you don't have one for that, you want to go Edit, Duplicate Special, and then you want to duplicate it on X. If you're not familiar with this, this is X, Y, Z. Why they're not labeled, I don't know. It just seems like that would be nice to label it. If you're used to Maya, then it seems like that makes sense, but if you're a first-time user, this is confusing. It should say fucking X, fucking Y, fucking Z, but it doesn't. It's just like, here's some numbers. Another tip is if you look at the bottom left, you can see what axis you're on. X is going left and right. So this is X. So I'm flipping it -1. And you have an option of having this be a copy or an instance. And I definitely want an instance. I'm going to get rid of this in a minute, but just for now to show you the process, then we press that, we say apply, and we have a nice instance piece. So now whatever I do over here happens on the other side. You know what? Let me get a sip of water really quick because I'm thirsty. That's good water. Okay. Let's kill my grid because that's annoying. Now what I want to do is start attaching these biatches. And actually, I'm going to get rid of this right away because I just realized there's kind of no reason for that. I'm going to grab this and this. And I'm going to say bridge. And I'm going to grab, ooh, this one could be tricky. By the way, the other reason I like having these loops around here is it denotes my actual tread. Because remember, this is the only part like that I've selected right now. That's the only part that we're going to extrude up. The rest is sitting on the surface of the tire. What else? Let's go. I'm tempted to do this, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a good idea. So I'm going to change my mind in a minute. Okay. So one of the things I want to think about is connecting all these with like one super loop that kind of goes all the way around, right? So let's do like this. This will be my, again, I might change this, but let me just extrude this for a second. And then maybe this will be like my super loop. I don't know if I'm actually going to need this, but we'll figure it out in a second. Let's do another one over here. I don't really care right now if these are, what distance these are at. I'm going to merge these together. I'm going to say merge to center, duplicate. Oh yeah. So this gigantor gap in here is making this a little bit wonky. So we have to deal with that. Because remember, we need these two to connect. So we're gonna do like this. Yeah. What else do we want to do? I'm gonna take this, and let's do a bridge. Now that I'm thinking about it, we might kill. Let's go like this. I'm just going to make sure this is snapped on X exactly. And likewise here. Could be that we do like this. Really bring these out. Could be. Let me bring these up. Okay, so let's start attaching these now. I think if we grab this and we do connect, we can slide. Where do we want to put this? Let's put one here. That way we get a nice connection here. We'll do bridge. This one, we need 1, 2 spans. So I'm going to grab this, say connect, 2 segments. And then I'm going to slide these bitches over here. So we got a bridge. we can bridge this one, and then I'll make any poly adjustments in a minute. And this, I do not like that it's going around the corner like this. Fucking weird. So let me kill this just for now, because I don't like that those loops delete those edges. So let's bridge this. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna have to make some very big adjustments. Now, see, you never want to end something like where this weird corner is. This is no bueno. So there's a vertex here I didn't know about. So I'll probably take this and do one more extrude. Okay. Excellent. And let's see how we end up. Cool. Or maybe not cool. We'll see in a minute. This needs to come out. And I mean, we could do like this, but that gets a little weird. I don't like that it's like, I don't like that's looping around. So the other option then is we take these and extrude these out. I think this is a better choice, only because my instinct tells me so. I can't tell you now why I know that, but I'm sure it's true. Okay. We have fucking shreds. Gadoosh. Now, let's grab what is actually going to be extruding, which is going to be this. And let's go gadoosh by holding shift. Now we can get sexy and whatever with it. Remember, this is the middle over here. So we can always change this later too, but you know, it might be that we take these and sort of make this one lower, this one higher, or something like that. But it doesn't matter. For now, that's going to be our tread. I'm not going to bevel these yet because we got a long way to go before this is a functional, tileable piece. But you can already see we have treads. The treads are working, and you can see now how the loops that we created frame our pieces of tread, and they will frame even better momentarily when I add additional loops around the bottom. But I'm not going to do that because it's just going to create polygons and problems, so I don't want problems. I like keeping things basic in the beginning. I'm going to use my hotkey to mirror. This is a very low poly situation, so let me just do a couple things here. What shader is on this? Is this Lambert 1? Why does it look so diggity dark? Does look pretty dark though, doesn't it? Weird. Weird. Just for giggles, let me turn on some ambient occlusion. Oh my god. That's why everything is backwards. Display. Reverse normals. Kadoosh. There we go. So we were modeling with flip normals the whole time. Ew. Alright. Let's go back to our top view. Kadoosh. And kadoosh. And what else? I will take these. And I will gadoosh. And what else? Move this biatch over here. I like edges to flow, so I don't want these to be like totally different widths everywhere or angles, so I'm just doing a scotchy bit of cleanup. Okay. Yes. Treads. Awesome. All right, now we're going to load our sweet, sweet texture so we can see what the fuck we're doing. How fucked up we are. Now remember, just to show you, I'll make this transparent a little bit. Let me open this up and go, a little bit of transparency. All right, so I need to move all these polys kind of like out of the way, right? So I started simple. In fact, I'll even start even simpler. We'll get rid of that. I need to make way for its duplication, because remember, we're going to duplicate this up, 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 and it needs to keep going. So I need to make space for the next set. Sorry again. So that means we need to make room for these bitches. Oh, I don't like that this is like this. I thought we intentionally fixed this before. Okay, well this is unacceptable. I can't do this. Delete, delete. It's this guy. No me gusta. Okay. I don't know how I screwed that up, because the whole point was that I didn't want that. I want this and this, and I'm going to bridge them. Thank you. Now we sort of have an extra. Cool. See, we don't even need this. Bye-bye. Son of a bitch. Okay. Delete. All right. Let's grab this. Merge. Thank you. Sheshini. All right. Let me grab here. That's actually good because we got rid of that nonsense loop that I didn't actually need. Not sure how that ended up there. I'm imperfect. Okay. This is going to be super aggressive, but let me pull this all the way down. And let's see if we can make this work, which we will eventually, because I'm going to add a loop through here eventually. And so I can like kind of curve all this around. So we'll fix this in a minute. And I keep selecting this on accident, so I'm going to press R, which means really don't select me. Yep, that's what it means. It means really don't select me. So let's do like this. And this, like this. And this, like this. Okay. Bueno. Yes. Make your stuff. Okay. So we got a little bit of space now that we didn't have before. And now we need to make space for his friend. So let's do this. Damn, actually. Man, we really don't need any of this shit. Let me see if there's a better way to assemble this. Hold on. Problem is, if I kill this, I'm left with this like chunk of shit hanging off. And I don't like chunks of shit hanging off. I do not. So this is why a lot of people don't do this with tires, because it's hard. You have to actually think about what you're doing. Let me just keep schmutzing this around over here for a minute. So I'm starting to think I have way too many loops for no reason. Problem is, though, I have a nice loop here and I don't want to kill it. You sons of bitches. So what I'm going to do is this. Watch and learn, buttercups. what I'm going to do is make this loop connect to this loop. How are you going to do that? I'm going to do it like this, manually. Oh God, that's not what I wanted at all. Okay, let's extrude that. Let's just do a little bit of edge modeling here for a moment. I'm not even going to attach these yet, just so you guys can see exactly what I'm thinking. Kadoosh. And kadoosh. Dun, 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 dun. Now see, if I was doing a hacky demo where I pre-planned all this, I would be pretending right now like this was my plan all along. But it wasn't. I started very simple, so I could figure out what I wanted to do in a very simple way. Now you see we have a loop. Yes. That goes all the way around. I like this. And likewise here we have a loop going all the way around. This is what it's supposed to be like. Okay. Now here comes one of the fun and confusing parts. Remove all this over here. Yes, la. Okay. And kadoosh. And kadoosh. I like my lines to be straight. Straight. Excellent. Okay. All right. Now we got a nice tread. Our tread is already better. You know what? Let me hit save really quick. What is this? Tire complete? Sure. Save. Let me just crank down some of my hello. There we go. Let's see what we got now. Now we have this. This is very good. This is what I want. Okay. Now comes the fun part. I'm going to take this. Let me kill my history really quick. And I'm going to duplicate this one up and one down. And then you'll see how I use instancing to sort of create this tileable pattern for me. So I'm going to grab both of these. Remember, these are instanced already. So anything I'm doing over here is already happening on the right. So I'm going to grab both of these. And I'm going to say duplicate special. And I want to instance them. But I don't want it to go, well, you know what, let me see. Let me just do a test really quick. Do a quick test to see where I want these. Let's say minus 3.75. Okay, so I'm just going to use that as the number. You don't have to do this. I'll show you another way. I can also just grab these and say duplicate special with no scale, no movement, no nothing. This is absolutely just as fine. You hit apply. You can totally do this. Now, let me turn my transparency on just a smidge again. So this is pretty good. So you can see we have one tread pattern here and one here. So we're good. The trick now is I need these to connect. I'm not going to weld them to connect them, but I'm definitely going to move components. So I'm going to start doing like this. And sometimes this can get really tricky because you'll have a different number of verts from the top than you do the bottom. This guy, I'm going to do like this. Now the only trick right now is, I'll fix that later. I'm going to just snap this holding C so I can slide along that edge. I will get all of this to match later. I'm not going to bring this all the way up yet because I don't want it to interpenetrate like that just yet. And also, actually, just to, so we're not confused, I'm going to do like this. Actually, we're going to do another thing. Let's do this. Because sometimes this can get confusing. Is this Lambert 3? I have no idea. Let's go like this. Let's make this bad boy freaking red. Color of power. Yes. Gadoosh! So that way I know who the parent is all the time. Now remember, everything I'm doing here is happening on the top. So I'm altering the top of this, and the top is being altered on the instance version as well. So we have a different number of points that we need to address. So I'm going to grab this son of a gun and go gadoosh. Gadoosh. Actually, that's not what I want at all. So I'm going to undo that. This, let me see, what's this doing? Is this is a quad. Is this a quad? Oh, this is also a quad, but it's an asshole quad. You son of a bitch. Okay, hold on. Let me isolate this for a second. Okay. So I'm not a fan of that wonky shape. So we need to do a little bit of work, I think, to fix that. So let's take maybe, let's do like this. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this, but we'll see. Then we'll take this and we'll bridge. So we have one loop here, and then I'm going to create another loop on top, I guess. We'll see. So this might be better, might be worse. We'll find out in a second. Gadoosh. Okay. Let's unhide some stuff and see what we got going on. Gadoosh. This can be here. This definitely needs to go here. We need another loop here. Hey man, what? That's the loop I wanted, I think. Grab this. So I'm going to cut through all this shenanigans right here. I don't know why I cut that way. That was a weird choice, Maya. Huh. Let me grab this and say delete. Just so I know I have a clean cut here. Huh, it's not letting me cut for some reason. Okay, let me delete that. Maybe there's a floating vert around there or something. Boom. Or maybe I did something stupid, which is also possible. So I have a feeling I'm going to be altering this piece a little bit in this area, because this area is a little wonky. But the most important thing is snapping this to here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, let's bring this up. Let's do a slide. Just sort of jack these dudes up a little bit. That's the problem. These weren't welded. Holla. Hold on. Son of a gun. Oh, it's that I just selected. I didn't want that at all. Okay, well now it all makes sense. I was working in top view too much. I'm sorry. Okay. Okie dokie smoky. Snap this bugger over here. Snap this over here. That way I've got a nice straight series of lines. Cool. Kind of. Except now, so I might need to add an extra loop. You can see now, I have too many sides over here. So if I grab this and I snap it to here, and I grab this and I snap it to here, let me weld these suckers. I'm going to snap this using C. I'm going to attach these later. What I want for right now is just things lining up. Because remember, this is hella low poly right now. So we're going to add, I can add spans all over the place later, which I intend to do. And this here. I'll go back to that other section in a minute. I don't want to spin my wheels on that nonsense for right now. Let's go back here. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this here. Oh, this is one of these like annoying problems. So like I need a span up here, right? So I put one, but then it adds an additional span over here. So you end up with this like never-ending loop. You son of a... Okay, hold on. Let me delete this edge. Well, no choice for right now. Let's connect this. So you see my problem now is I created a loop, but it's adding a loop to the bottom. Which is kicking my ass. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out later. Because now, okay, so like for example, if I want to add a span here, then I have a never-ending problem right now. So, I'll figure that out also later. Okay, so this is cool. So this is one of these scenarios too, where like later I might come in and go, well, just snap it like this. Like who gives a shit that there's a triangle here? And it might be that I come back to here and do something like this, where I like make a cut here or something, and then like figure out the rest later. You know what I mean? Like it's not the end of the fucking world when you have a triangle somewhere. Relax, everybody. Not everything needs to be loops. Okay, so this is a weird intersection that we need to resolve. This 1, 2, 3, 4. It is technically a quad, but it's an ugly quad. It is an ugly quad. You are an ugly fucking quad. Oh, that's an ugly quad. Let me grab all my little guys here, just merge them really quick. Make sure I don't have any floaters. Well, I really don't like this horrific quad I have here, but it is a quad nonetheless, and I'm going to keep it for now. It may be that I go back in later and maybe tidy that up. Let me think about it. Okay, so this is all quadded right now. Oh, boy, that really bothers me. I don't like this. Do you like it? You shouldn't. It's ugly. But so one of the other tricks too is like not getting bogged down on some bullshit. Like I could get stuck here for a day, like trying to be like, well, what if I add a and like fuck around in this like one thing that doesn't matter. Like don't get bogged down in that shit. So for me, I'm all about let's solve big problems first, move forward, and then we'll go back a little bit. I mean, I don't mean move forward to a point where you're going to screw yourself later, but move forward like, let's do what we can do. Then we'll fix all the bullshit later. Okay? So we're pretty close here. So, okay, here's an interesting thing I'm just noticing. So I need an edge here, and I'm short one edge here. So this is a great problem. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to shift all these up one. That solved my problem. So I solved the problem by not even adding any spans, which is good. My last problem is, though, I have one span I don't need in this little guy. So for now, I'm going to snap him here. And I'm going to say merge. And then I'm just going to put a little cut here. And then if I want, okay, just to make some people happy, I'll do this. I might regret this later, but maybe not. We'll see. Okay, so this lines up. This does not line up. I need to fix this. So we have an edge here, and we have an edge here. So in a case like this, here's the thing. What I like to do is create what I need first. Right? So if I know I need an edge that curves all the way around. See, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? Let's go over here for a second. Let's go to my top view. Yeah, this is a motherfucker. Because I need to add an extra span. I got rid of a span I'm eventually going to need to replace. So in cases like this, I usually delete a lot of stuff and then just create what I need. So I know I need this. I know I need it. So I'm just going to fucking create it. And then I'm going to snap all this shit here. So now if I snap this, do I even want to do that? I don't know. And then I need this to come down. Now I might collapse all this, but I'm just creating an edge that I know I want for now. So let's say that's the edge that I want. And we know we want it. So we're going to keep it. Which means I need this to come here, right? I know I need this. So I'm just going to put it there. Come on, Maya. Focus your chi. And then grab this. I'm going to add a new loop because I know I need this. And then look what we have. Holy shit balls. Whoops. Wrong button. Oh, this also is not so good because now I have, oh god damn it. Ah shit, I got another problem now. Okay, let me undo that for a second. So the way I work typically is like it helps my brain sort of resolve issues if I sort of edge out something that I need first, which is, you can see what I'm doing now. And then really, then this comes down like this. And then I'll decide later if that's what I needed. So I have built myself into a goddamn corner. Yeah. Take it on the face. So this loop is okay. But this one, not so good. We got too much here. So I'm going to remove a loop by doing this. And let's bring all this to a point. So we're here. Let me just weld all this really quick. And then let's get rid of this edge. Now I'm not in love with this, but for now that works. Remember, you have choices too. Like I can take this and move it here. I mean, I can do little things that will sort of clean this up. But also remember, when you're zoomed in like this and you're like balls deep, like trying to figure out this one thing, you have to remember this. This is probably the scale that this will be at. So don't get bogged down in too much bullshit, especially too soon. So I got a nice corner there. Another solution I could have to doing this is like, you know, I could bring this. I could do this, maybe. And then get rid of all the stuff in between, which actually I kind of like that idea better. And I'll show you something fun too, is so if I adjust this, remember what I'm really doing is adjusting the bottom of this one. So I can do that. Let's take this and see if this gets us an even cleaner result. I'll take these. I'll merge them. I'll get rid of this so that we have a quad. Then I'll take these and I'll merge these. And then let me get rid of all this for a second. And then maybe we want something like this. Get rid of these edges real quick, just so I can. Now, see, I don't like this because then what I want to do is this, to make that clean. So I'm not going to fuck with it anymore. Let's keep it like this for now. And let's just double check and make sure all of our verts are attached to a corresponding vert. Yes. Yes and yes. Okay, so now remember what we just did was we adjusted the top part of our parent object. So now we need to adjust the bottom part of our parent object. And if you recall, we moved this originally negative 3.75 on the z-axis. So we're going to do another one. We're going to do edit, duplicate special, and I'm just going to hit apply. So this is my duplicate now that I can move down. And I'm going to go 3.75, right? Yeah. So now I'm going to adjust the parent again and make sure all of this, if anything, doesn't line up. And also just to make it easier on my brain, let's go here and make sure all of this is nice. Okay. So one thing you can do also, if you want to adjust both at the same time, which is a nice, hey, how come I can't get out of expert mode? I'm stuck in expert mode. Let's try this. Well, let's see. Let me see if I can load a classic. All right, that's good enough. If you want to adjust both, you can. Here's my top view. You can grab, let's say, for example, like I don't like that these are skewed like this. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one and its child, and then I'm going to go here. This will allow me to select multiple components from multiple objects. And so then I can grab this now, and I can move. Now you'll notice now, everybody's moving, which is good. And I can adjust these just so it's a little bit cleaner. So all the adjustments I'm doing right now, I'm doing on the parent and I'm doing on the child. Okay. Kill my history really quick. Well, I don't know what happened to my fucking... I don't know what happened to my user interface. It just took a shit all of a sudden. God, Maya, get it together. Okay, good enough for now. So, let me just fix one thing real quick. I feel like my camera settings are off. It's okay. So remember, let's go back here. Let's get our transparency away. Remember, we kept all this very basic, right? So now what we want to do is, let's kill these for now. Actually, let's not. Let's do this. Let's get a nice, real good look at what this is going to look like. So now I'm going to do another duplicate special. This time -1. So now we can start getting a real nice look at what this will look like. Let me grab these. So this is our tile. These are our children. Kill my grid. So this looks really good. Now what I want to do is I'm going to bevel the tops of all of these. I want to do that all at the same time. So I'm going to grab these. For sure I'm going to have to go in and sort of do some small adjustments afterwards. But this will give me sort of a soft edge. Now let me say something else too. Depending on the fidelity of this, if you want, that you might want to make all of these beveled as well. Just on the corners. In fact, fuck it, let's just do that. Let's go, let's grab all the corners that we think we're going to want beveled. And let's see what that looks like. Because otherwise you kind of have these like some of these are like crazy sharp. You don't want it that sharp, do you? I don't. I don't. I'm not going to bevel the middle because that's our center line. So now I've got these. Let's just see what this looks like if we bevel from here. So bevel edge. I'm going to give myself a little bit to work with there. And Maya doesn't know how to bevel, like I said, so you're going to find areas that broke. So it's good to go back and try and fix those. Let me just turn my... So that's going to look better because we chose to do that. And then let's... Another thing too, like I don't mind this triangle here, and the reason why we looped this originally is to sort of pin any of those issues. And remember, I'm putting a triangle essentially on a flat surface, so I don't really care that that's there. It's going to be curved eventually, but it's not going to bother it in a way that anyone's ever going to notice or see. So, and if somebody really, really cares about that and you want to spend forever getting rid of all the triangles, then more power to you. But that's not really something necessary other than liking your wireframe, but I don't care that much. So let's do this. Make sure I have everything selected. Don't tell me I fucking... I need to fix this edge that Maya fucked up. I just selected all this stuff. Whatever, let's bevel and see what happens. Bevel face. Let's get a nice bevel on that. I wouldn't get too crazy also with like adding tons of edge detail because remember there's going to be a lot of these. So this is pretty okay. So now obviously it's broke because, like I said, Maya doesn't know how to bevel or anything. So we're going to fix this. There we go. This is a choice, by the way. If you want, you can take this and like snap this over and then do something else. You can take this and pin it here, which we'll do. Then if you want, you can take this and you can add an edge here so that you have quads. Where else? Is there any other annoying? This, I guess, is slightly annoying. I feel like there's something else happening. Of course there is. And delete. What else? Any other brain busters? Let's see, we got this. Don't care that much, to be honest. Let's just say I don't care about the rest. Unless there's any egregious offenders. This is egregious. This offends me. Ooh. Let's go here and add a cut. Maybe, whatever, let's just keep it. Okay, what else? Egregious. Maya can't bevel in 2020. Okay, what else? It's funny, like 15 years ago I used to use Silo, and like Silo could bevel, and it was a $90 modeling application. Get it together, everybody. What else? Okay, given having more time, okay, I fucked something up over here. Let me isolate this really quick. Okay, this guy, let's do a collapse edge. Given like an infinite amount of time, if I wasn't recording a video, I'd probably go in and make some adjustments on this. Clean up a few of these areas that maybe are a little not so sexy, but I think we're okay for now. We'll know in a minute. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is I would like to add a cut kind of between, just one cut between everything. Because remember, we're going to curve this shortly. And I want all of these pieces to have enough edges that they can bend. So that's not, shit. Let's see, if I cut through here, and cut through here, and cut through here. Okay, now maybe I cut one through here like this. This way I've got fairly, an even distribution of cuts if this does need to bend. I don't want this so off center, so I'm just going to sort of relax these a bit. And then we'll know when we test this. It might be that we want to add more cuts, but maybe not actually. So the other option would be if we wanted to add one more. Remember, we're going to duplicate a lot of these, so this could get real heavy real quick. Maybe, yeah, because like if I add another loop, I'm going to travel like all the way through all this, which isn't bad. Let me just double check this. Make sure that's something I want to do. We did it. And if we're going to add one there, may as well add one here. Right, guys? Right. I kind of wouldn't mind one running through here, to be honest. What if we did that? How bad does our geo get then? Okay, so barring any geo cleanup, so okay, in all honesty, I would go back and clean like some of this stuff up, but I don't want you guys to watch me do that. So let's leave what we have for now. So now we have a relatively dense piece. I'm going to hit save. Now, one thing you'll notice, let's get rid of this. And let's get rid of this. Let's do a merge, or a combine, I should say. Let's merge these verts. So here's our treads. We have a choice as well at this point. So we could, if you wanted, I think this is something we could do later, but you could, if you wanted, go back and like make some of these, angled higher in one spot than the other, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that in a little bit. I think this is pretty okay. So let's just do a quick test. Let's say we're going to need a lot of these. So let me kill my history. What was our number? 3.75, right? On the Z. So we want to go translate X, Y, Z. Let's just do 3.75. And we want instances. So just as a quick test, I'm going to grab this and say apply. So here's our tread. And apply. Now I can expedite this a bit, and I can say 20, apply. So you can see right away, oh, all of a sudden it starts looking like a fucking tire. Let's grab this. Let's do another 20. I don't know if this is enough. So we'll test it. Let me save again. And I always take one piece and just save it, like my original parent. So now I'm going to take all of this, and I'm going to, I'm debating on doing one more thing really quick. Let's take this. Just for giggles. Let's grab this one, because these aren't instants any longer, so I need to grab both. And let's bring them down just a skoshie bit. Okay, the rest we'll just do with deformers shortly. So let's grab all this, and we're going to go combine. And mine's going to be like, what? 40 objects? There we go. Okay. And I don't even technically need to weld this yet, so I don't care about that. I'm just testing this anyway. Actually, let's just weld it just in case. It looks really cool. Just want to make sure my weld point is pretty low. walking around upstairs. Okay. So now we're going to take this bad boy, and we are going to do a... We need a non-linear... God, I forget where that's at. Non-linear. There it is. We need a non-linear bend. So I'm going to apply a bend to it, and then you're going to be like, what the fuck? Nothing happened. I know. So we're going to take this curvature, and we're going to put a curve to it. So again, nothing's happening, but nothing's happening because of the angle of our deformer. So if I rotate my deformer now, like a this, and then like a this, you start noticing, oh shit, we getting a tire. So let's max this bad boy out. Oh, that's nice. It's always like that where you get like one span away. So I'm probably exactly one span away, but also we can go okay, so now I'm just going to eyeball this shit. This seems really gangster. I like to do it like this, but that's how we do it. It sucks because you should be able to say curve 360 or curve 180, and it should just curve 180, but it actually doesn't. Maya uses a unit called a radian for its curvature, which is a bit difficult to deal with sometimes. Okay, so you'll notice how close I am right now. So I'm going to start stepping up slowly. So I'm at 183 degrees, 0.2. Way too high. 0.1. Wow. 0.01. I feel like we're right there. 0.001. There we go. And my goal isn't to get these exact. Okay, let's do 6. Now we're getting really close. 7. 183.007 degrees got us there. So I'll obviously go in and I'll weld these, but we're basically spot on at this point. So now we have a pretty cool looking tire, but it's very flat. So let's do something really quick. Let's take this. Let's grab all those verts underneath. Let's do a quick weld at a very low threshold just to make sure we only get the ones we wanted. And then let's kill our history on this. Yeah. Okay, so let's do something. Let's make this look more tire-ish. Is that a word? Tire-ish? Let's take this bad boy and let's split him down the middle. Like a this. Yes. Now I'm going to make him an instance again, or her, or she, or zer. Whatever floats your boat. I don't give a shit. Duplicate special, we're going to do negative 0, fucking 1. Now, we can start getting really, God, I'm confused now because my UI has been, I had to change it to default. Hold on, you know what I need? I need some coconut water. Oh, that's good coconut water. That's good coconut water. All right. Now the super trick is let's use a deformer and let's use a lattice on this biatch. So we want, what the fuck is an S division? I've been using Maya for 20 something years and I still don't know what ST means. Sweet. So S, we're going to make it, you don't want too many spans. So one cut through the middle might be enough. Maybe not. Let's try two. And then let's grab these 4 corners of our lattice. And scale. Holla! Immediately we have something that looks more like a tire. Let's grab this. And a this. And like a this. So now you can start really shaping this bitch. Alright, let's grab this again because he's got a little carried away. Let's scale him up a skoshi bit. You can also make decisions too, like you can bring this way in, make it more like a tractor tire or something. You can also make art direction changes at this point too. Like, so maybe this is scaled in too much, but you know, maybe you want the tire wide as shit. You could do like this. And already you're starting to get kind of a cool looking thing. And then you just go in and edit the rest and sort of balance out that look. As far as tires go, I think this looks kind of okay. I don't want to scale it too much. And I think these did scale too much over here. You can sort of use your lattice as a guide. So you see how it goes like straight, straight. You can sort of use that as a guide. So you want it to curve. You want your lattice to curve. It's not bad. Generally, I try to keep the tire itself like flat. I always want to keep this. I don't ever touch this one because I want to make sure that the middle is absolutely maintained as a flat surface. So when someone is animating it or whatever, the tire has a surface that it's sitting on. It's not a sphere. You know what I mean? All right. So now we have a freaking sweet tire. Get rid of my history. Let me hit save again. So we made a good choice, I think, by adding those extra spans. And again, you don't have to worry about things like, because there's 2 spans close here, then it's further, like this isn't even, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Who gives a shit? This looks perfectly fine. So I'm not worried about that. And now we want to grab this. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's merge in my rim really quick. Let's import my tire with rim. Tire rim FBX. Yeah, let's merge in this one. Scaling might be off on this, but that's okay, everybody. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah, let's put this bad boy back in the center somewhere. And let's make sure we're sort of roughly at 0. Let's grab this guy. Here's my perspective. It's over here. We'll keep this over here just as like some type of reference. I'm going to take this. So this is a rim and stuff I had modeled for it. And I've got a smoothable disc brake in there. I made some calipers. This is all smoothable. I got a lot of cool stuff in here. Once you build one, you just keep it forever. I'm never going to build another one of these. Let's let you guys take a gander at this guy for a minute. This was a pretty easy build too. I basically started off with 3 cylinders. You know, you can see the cylinders here, 1, 2, 3, and then I sort of edge modeled out from there. It's a fairly complicated model though, actually, but it works pretty good, and it actually smooths extremely well. Especially stuff like this. Like stuff like this, if I'm really spending time making like a hero piece, then yeah, I mean, you really should spend time. I think this is all quadded for the most part. Actually, no. See, look. Oh yeah, this is a great example of what I was talking about. Yes. So see how I have open edges and shit? So I got these open edges. I got a couple here. I probably got half a dozen floating around. Okay, could I go through and do some freaking whatever to make these closed up? Probably. But this is what it looks like smooth. So what's my hang up? And even if I apply like a blend somewhere, I can throw on this dude. God, could this be any bigger, Maya? It's my whole screen. Yeah, so I mean, it's fine, right? Like, what's the problem? Just make your edges and move on. Move on, everybody. Okay, so let's take this and let's... Oh, I'll show you another trick. So I want to take this. I want to know where the center of my wheel is right now. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to center my pivot. And then I'm going to say, is it under display? Rotation, transform display? Yeah. Okay, so under display, transform display, rotate pivots. So if I press this, let me change my background color really quick. You'll see I have a little gizmo floating there. And usually what I do with that is I let that denote where the center of this object is. So if I move this object, I can always see where the center of it is. And the reason why I do that is because I always want to know where the center of a tire or maybe some particular important pivot point is, because I want to snap things to it. So I can align things to my tire, but I also want to know visually where things are and to be able to snap things to the center of this object. So if I say I want to snap this exact location to here, I can do aligning, but I want to snap it to the exact point. So that, because this isn't a symmetrical object as well, so like this and this and this, I don't want to align those things separately. I just want to grab them all and snap it to one point. And I also typically will leave these visual cues for riggers. So it's always good to have a visual cue. So then what I do with that visual cue is I say, create locator, which is just a gizmo on your screen. And I take that and I snap it to my center. So now even if I, for some reason, were to move the pivot of my tire, I know exactly where the center point of my tire is. So now, let's say I take all of this and I just snap it to my center and I scale up from that point. This is going to be the world's largest room. And let's scale down a bit. So the one I made before was like a beefcake tire. So I don't want a beefcake tire right now. I want something a little more, not so crazy. And this is thick as shit. Ew! That's what she said. I mean, okay, let's move this. I don't need this edge, so we're gonna, I grabbed this from a working file, so actually some of this isn't welded. Hold on. Grab this, merge, douche. You can also see too, like, see my spans are different here, but I have enough spans so that it doesn't matter. So when I smooth this, again, you can see, I used to lecture about this. I've taught in colleges and stuff before on visual effects and stuff. And, it doesn't hurt anything whatsoever that there's a different amount of spans in some areas than others. Now I'm getting pinching and stuff here because I haven't welded that stuff, but so what? Just weld it. What matters is, do you have enough spans for something to look welded, right? And once you do, it doesn't matter anymore. So all of this looks perfectly clean. This, I don't know what's going on here. Let me see why this isn't actually welding. Oh, I need to weld these also. I'm not going to do that right now because this is not a rim modeling exercise. But you get my point. Let's grab these suckers. Delete. Delete. All right. I'm just going to bring this in enough that it makes sense. I'm not going to like finalize this or anything. Okay, whatever. Good enough. So now all we really need to do is take this bad boy. And we want to extrude. Yes. So I'm going to extrude this, push it out just a tad. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to give myself one fatty cut here. Then I'm going to bevel this. Because remember, we pulled this out a bit and I want it to bulge a bit. So I'm going to bulge the tire here and then I'm going to let the bevel do the rest of the work. So I'm going to say bevel edge and then I'm going to say, well, how much do you want to bevel it? Well, and let's adjust our fraction for a minute. Look how horrible Maya is chugging at trying to bevel this. God, get it together, Autodesk. God, we should all just be using Blender at this point. I literally can't even do this. Oh my god, it's so shit. Okay. If I can get it to do it. Okay, hold on. Let's see if we go slow. Oof. 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 Not what I want. Slowly. Slowly. Okay. Good job, Maya. You beveled. Now I want one more bevel. I want one right here. It's like beveling in dog ears. It's just like you do it and you wait. I'm not sure if that reference actually made any sense. Oh. If I want, I could jack another segment in there and just get crazy with it. Let's just do 2 for fun. The idea, though, too, is when you're done, I don't need to ever... This is a hero model of a tire that does not need to smooth. Does that make sense? As opposed to, like, this. I can take this. This one's pretty clean. So this one I spent quite a bit of time. You can see, like, I made everything as nice as possible. If I wasn't doing a demo, maybe I would. But also you can see I cheated here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But who gives a fuck? If I hit 3, first of all, Maya has a heart attack. It's so many edges. Yeah, I know. Relax. Yes. Just do it. Kadoosh. So if we back out, you know, we still have a smoothable, nice, sexy tire. And delete this one. I don't care about that tire anymore. All I care about is my sweet Yokohama. Hold on. You know what I need? Coconut water. That's good coconut water. Okay. Not gonna lie, this is looking pretty sweet. So now we need, I like little details. So remember, this is a hero tire, not some bullshit Pokemon tire. So we're gonna put, if Maya can do it, I have 128 gigs of RAM, by the way. It's not like I'm on a bullshit computer. Okay, I'm gonna put just itty bitty lip here. I'm gonna give it just a tiny angle. And then here, I might regret doing this actually, but we'll see. And then here. Let's see. And then because this is a pretty aggressive edge, you guessed it, we're going to bevel. Wait for it. You can do it. 0.25. How about that? Good job, Maya. I'm happy with that. Okay. Now remember, because this is a not an asset that's going to be smoothed, I want to soften my edge. Wait for Maya. Okay. Now I would probably also go in and we're going to bevel this guy. Or girl. Whatever. I'm fine with anything. Good. There we go. Okay, let's do 0.25 on this also. It's so slow at this point, I can't even like. And fuck it. I want two edges there. Yes. That's what I wanted. That's the sweet spot. Okay. Let's see. I want to soften this mesh display. Soften it. I'm scared to go into my expert mode again because I don't want my UI to fucking vanish. Jesus. Cool. We kind of got a cool looking tire. Now, let's grab all of our shit and let's scale to about here. So now we just kind of have some choices. Do you want your rim sticking out like a twat? Or, that actually made no sense. Or, do you want it flush? Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Then you can add like extra detail also, which, whew, I'm debating on even doing it because I'm scared mine's gonna shit the bed. But you can take like one of these edges, let's say, and bevel. We'll just put a nice little stripe through the middle of this guy. Or girl. No judgment. And I might not even like this, but let's see, 0.05. Let's make it really small. This is probably something you would put in like a normal map, but why? Most of my experience, I shouldn't say it. I've got about 20 years plus of experience. Most of, the last decade or so has been in film. So there's no such thing as normal maps. We just model everything. So I'm just going to bring that in just an itty bitty bit. Move my pivot here for a second. Yes. Oh, well, I can't even see. It's like too small of a detail. It's actually because it's everything's smoothed. So actually, let's see if we just unsmooth these. Maybe we'll get a nice look. We'll do a hard edge on that. Ooh, it's too hard. Okay. Nice little detail there, I guess. But not nice enough that I care. It actually looks kind of weird. Never mind. Abort. Abort. Let's get rid of all this. Let's undo. Oh, shit. Mine's freaking out. Let me save really quick. Jesus Christ. Save scene. I'm literally waiting for Maya to catch up. Thank you. All right, let's kill my history before Maya freaks out anymore. I think we're pretty good. Hell to the yeah. You know what we should do now? Let's throw this bitch in fucking key shot. Just for giggles. Yeah, let's do that just for fun. Where's Keyshot? I don't even know where it is. Do I have Keyshot on here? Hey-oh, there it is. Let's launch Keyshot. I haven't used Keyshot for quite a while, actually. While we wait, I'm going to drink some coconut water. Oh, that's good coconut water. Keyshot? Hello? Hello? I thought I launched Keyshot. Where is Keyshot? Oh, there it is. Initializing with the Kung Fu Buakaw. Okie dokie, Smokey, don't care about your updates. So this looks pretty cool. I'm happy with it. Took a couple hours, but that's what you gotta do. Looks nice. Let me hide my locator. Grab all of this. Move everybody's pivot. This is another reason why it's important to have locators and stuff, right? So I'm moving all my pivots now, let's say, to 0. And I'm going to freeze everything out, right? So that locator still will always tell me where the center of this tire is. And this whole tire might get combined for an effect. It might get grouped. It might whatever. Point is, I always know where the center of the rubber is. And that's what I want. So let's do this and combine. I'm not even going to weld these because I don't care, because I'm tired of waiting for Maya to do stuff. I'm going to move this back to 0. Excellent. Now, Keyshot, if I recall, recognizes materials. So I'm just going to apply, let me do this really quick, delete unused nodes. I'm going to apply a material for each, or a shader for each material. So this will be rubber. This is basically like a material set. So this is our rubber, and this will be, let's make this rim. Where's my rim? And just so I can see, it doesn't matter what color I make these. God, come on, where's mine? This is what it's like navigating in Maya. Like I can't even. Let's go make this like bright green or something. Now, why is it doing that? That is the question. There we go. I notice that sometimes it like doesn't, it like hangs. It doesn't want to catch. Damn, you know what I should do? Because some of this needs to get welded. I'm going to weld all this really quick. Let's see if that helps. No, it doesn't. There's a little bit of a gap from where I rotated these originally. Let's do this. Watch. Let's go 0.1. Oof, that was too much. Okay, we got our rim fixed. And what else do we need? We need brake. Where is, I need another Lambert. Let's call this brake. Of course, my fucking attribute editor is behind the fucking Hypershade, which is my whole screen. Jesus. Okay, let's make this something easy to see also. By the way, I love that my color is orange and the sample is red. That's great. Let's go like this. So my sample's red, but my color is orange. Hypershade says it's also fucking red. Fantastic. Oh, I think I didn't move my pins. Why not? Let's move my pins really quick. I must have not scaled them or selected them or something. We scaled all this. We're going to do this very cheaply. Booyah. What else do we want? We can make this green. We can make this green. And then we can make this and this. These can just stay Lambert 1. So now I have my materials outlined. Sweet. Oh, I forgot about this guy. This can also be Lambert 1. Okay, cool. File, save. Close the world's largest material editor. Let's grab all this. Quadruple check. Everything's at 0. My transforms are diggity destroyed, which is good. And one last save, and let's export selection. Let's do FBA. So I'll call this tire 2 key shot. It's a little pro tip too. Also, I always put to and from in my files when I'm going back and forth a lot, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're building characters and weapons and vehicles and you have hundreds of or tens of 20s or hundreds of things going back and forth in between applications, if you just save something like tire obj, it's like, yeah, but is this the one going into ZBrush for sculpting, or is it the one that you sculpted and it's going out of ZBrush? Like, you never really know. So let's import tire tutorial. Tire 2 key shot. Import. I have a few options in here. This isn't really going to be a key shot tutorial, but I want to keep position relative to native origin. Yes. Up orientation Y, of course. Import. UV index does not match triangle. I don't know what that means, but I don't care also. I actually forget how to navigate all the way in KeyShot. Oh, there we go. I was like, what's rotate? Cool. All right. Now let's just change our environment. Let's see what cool environments we got. Let's throw one of these bad boys in here. Not bad. So I want to get rid of my lighting environment background. I'm going to replace it with a color. That color can be a nice dark gray, which will bring our sweet new model to the front. Oh, you twat. All right, let's do this. Yeah, because the OK is at the bottom of the fucking thing and it's off screen. Okay, so let's say OK. Let's maximize this. Why is my animation wizard open? I don't like this. And why is this way down here? What's happening? What's happening with these workspaces? We have a few we can try. Let's try some outdoor lighting. Ooh. Before we get too bogged down in that, let's go to materials. So we have a few, here's our lame basic materials that have been assigned. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to search rubber. By the way, if you're not rendering in KeyShot, in some ways it's kind of like you're a psycho. Because it's so easy. I do agree though, like, if you want to get bogged down in like fucking Arnold and all this other stuff, by all means. But sometimes the easiest solution is just to take a renderer, because that's its job, and let the renderer do everything for you. Sometimes it's not, but for a lot of you that are, you know, if you're, like, I'm a modeler. That's sort of my specialty. I paint, I do many things, but if someone asks me, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of a modeler. That's basically my thing. So I'm not personally that interested in getting super bogged down in becoming a master renderer. So sometimes I'll just throw something in a KeyShot. So I want metal. So let's go to our metal drop down. We have aluminum. We have many to choose from. We have anodized. Ooh, that looks kind of cool because it's blick. Some gold fucking rims up in here. Let's find something we like. Some chrome rims. Whoa, that is way too intense. The reflection is awful. It's because the map is not very high res, actually. I mean, it's okay. It's probably 2K or something, but it's just too sharp. What about this guy? So let's find painted metal. So like metal. Oh. Let's put a red brake caliper up in this guy. That's not what I wanted. And then we want, let's use like a stainless steel. Where is my stainless steels? Damn, that's so shiny. Simply too shiny. Steel. What about regular steel? Let's see what this looks like. That's probably alright. I keep doing that because it doesn't use my navigation. I still do like a nice painted wheel. So let's go with I don't know. I'm partial. I like let's see if we can find a metal that I like. I still think that looks cool. I also like it because it separates the metal on the caliper, or the disc rather. Okay, well that's cool enough for me. So now let's just explore with a few different environments. Let's see if we can find an environment that we really like. That highlights all of our work. Studio lighting is always a choice. The problem with using certain backgrounds is like they have too much color in them, and so it kind of like fucks everything up. It's kind of nice because it adds that like warm, looks like sunlight or whatever. Now the rim looks quite quite hard edged right now because it's not smooth. It was modeled to be a smooth asset, so there's no bevels, so it looks like fucking, it kind of looks shitty actually. I usually like this one, I think. Yeah. But more studio lighting. Yeah. Los Angeles sunset, 4K. Not good. And listen to Let's go to environment. Let's up our brightness. Environment. Not bad. Let's just change our metal really quick again. What did we do before? We did this one, right? Cool. Anyway, you get the idea. I would go in and probably mess with some of this brushed metal look that we're getting on the rim, or find a material that doesn't have that necessarily. It also makes a difference if you have UVs. It also, I mean, a lot of the things make a difference, right? So, but yeah, I think you get the idea. This looks pretty cool. And anyway, it's basically for the tire. And the tire looks pretty freaking cool. I guess that's about it. Hope you all liked the tutorial and the rants and the coconut water. That's it for me. Peace!